So what if I started and I talked to Dave Ramsey like this? Like, what kind of stupid, like idiotic, asinine thing would make you think that that's right? Like, how do you think he would respond?
He'd get heated.
He'd probably self-implode. Like,
he self-implodes as it is.
Okay, so 8% withdrawal rate is absolutely wrong. What's funny is Dave Ramsey can just sit there and go, no, it's 8%. You stupid moron, it's 8%, but yet not show anything. Mm-hmm. So we're going to change that up. We're going to show the difference here because there's no number or no math here that says that will work. It won't work.
And reflecting on the video that Dave actually did, and he humiliated his own employee.
Poor guy. Yeah.
That talked about, hey, it's a 4% withdrawal rate, or it would be 3% if you retired in your 30s and 40s.
And he was spot on right.
And Dave completely humiliated him. And Dave's always had, he's had the Total Money Makeover book. He's got the book that says, hey, it's 8% withdrawal rate, 12% return. Nobody's really poked the bear too much. I mean, through the years, it's been there. But at this point, at what point do you start to say, hey, this guy is completely wrong, and then just belittles his employee? But what really caught me off guard, and why I want to see the data, is because Dave himself said on his show, I'm 62 years old, and I've not had to do this because I'm working right this second. I'm still working, but my money's getting the 12%, so I know I can get 8%. Yep. So did you watch last year, Dave, 2022? Did you check your account in 2018 when the market was down? Did you check your account in 2008 when the market was down? What happens when you take your money out and the market's down? Like,
I don't like being talked to.
No, he just gets such like just belittling people, and I can't agree with that.
It bugged me because he picked on me too, where he said there's some nerd pencil pusher who's living in his mom's attic, and it was like, no, we have thousands of clients that we actually do this for, and I would literally be like tarred and feathered if I told someone, go ahead, yeah. Now some people can do an 8% withdrawal rate individually, but if I said that was my general thing, I wouldn't be here. It would be the end of it. I'd just be done. I'm not Dave Ramsey. I can't get away with that. So
run a black swan event, 2020. Run something where there's a massive pullback. If we didn't have that V-shaped recovery in that year, you're done. Go to CNBC and tell people, yeah, you're going to get a 12% return. And see one person that's just like, tell me where every single year and sign me up.
So what I really hated about the video was how he said specifically how to do it. You make your 12. You take 4 for inflation. You take out 8. You got 4 left over. And it was like, wait, when does this happen? Like, he's like, every year. And then the next year, you do it again. You get your 12. And I'm like, Dave, I know he knows that that's not true. He can't be that stupid, right? Like that's, now I'm going to start talking like him.
Use the word.
Yeah.
No, it's true. That's exactly what he would say. So let's see the data. Let's
try this.
Let's check this out.
This is the actual data from the stock market. This is just the S&P return. This is not cherry-picked in any way. I did make one little typo, I will admit to this, but it doesn't matter because you can pick any month you want. So here we go. On the screen, S&P returns. We're doing a 4% versus an 8% withdrawal rate. We're using the S&P, so there's no cherry-picking or no using Dave's funds. We are comparing the S&P return, just if you didn't have to withdraw, just for fun, and then an 8% rate and a 4% rate with $1 million investment. And we're saying for 20 years, you're going to take your money out at the same time and you're just going to go do your thing, right? We have a rate of change of 2% for inflation, and that's low, right? But the concept being, well, over 20 years, you're going to need to take out more dollars, although the percentage concept still lays intact. So here we go. S&P is in purple. That is, this is the actual data. This is not guessing.
Total return, too. And total return meaning you're reinvesting dividends, things like that. Just what Dave talks about.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're buying a mutual fund, it's doing that. So giving you that same comparative data there.
And so now we're looking at the S&P total return with the 8% withdrawal rate and the 4% withdrawal rate. So look at what you got. That's my typo, is it's not typed out correctly. So the orange line is the 4% withdrawal rate, right? So wow, we got a few dollars left over. This works out. I can actually do this.
Yeah.
The blue line represents what would happen if you systematically took out your money over that time, given the market fluctuations and everything. We're just showing the withdrawals.
Yeah.
You end up broke. I'll go back to this slide right here. Your total withdrawals come out to $971,000. You made it, right? But you who's going to do that?
You're talking 20 years.
And I'm only talking 20 years.
He's talking to a kid on a call that was 30-something years old or 30 years old.
And was very excited by it. Like, he was doing well. That kid was on the right track.
Yeah, absolutely. But the idea of this is like, this is 20 years. Yeah. If you're pulling out and you're 70 years old and you're like, hey, you know what? I want to go for the fences here. I've had clients say, I want the last check to bounce. Go for it. You're all in. Go for this. Understand that, if you have a massive pullback in the market, could change some things. But generally speaking, go for it.
And he called the 4% withdrawal rate stupid.
Yeah.
Now, to me, like, the guys that created that, the man, is way smarter than I will ever be. Now, I disagree that everybody needs to do 4%, but in this example, that's what they're talking about, is have $1 million and do your thing. Okay, well, that's the breaking point, or the breaking point with comfort zone.
From planning, though, I think some people are even less than 4%. I would swing that way with it, because you've got to look at age, number one. Asset allocation is a big differentiator there. How are you actually investing? I've seen people that are too conservative that they can't do a 4% withdrawal rate because they're not getting enough money. You've got, a lot of variables that come into play when it comes to this to figure out exactly how much you need and how much do you want to leave for inheritance. He's saying you have $1 million, you end with $1 million. You die with $1 million to leave your kids still pulling 8%.
There's
no way.
There's no chance.
I would say, as confident as he was in saying it, I would say I'm that confident that it would not work.
I actually tried, believe it or not. So when I was setting this up, I actually tried to cherry pick a time where it would work. And I'm actually going to go back to 1950. I just kept going, and I was like, can I find a moment? There was surely some great times in the market that would offset the down moves, and we can make it happen better.
Yeah.
I hadn't found anything yet, but I've only made it back to 1992, which is my favorite year. And so I didn't get there. But I'm going to keep playing with it because he made the argument that I know that the guy that graduated from MIT that was like an engineer, a math whiz that created the 4% rule, he don't know. He don't know.
Yeah.
But I do. I put my headphones on and I listen to people make calls all day. I don't actually study this stuff and do it. So unfortunately, Dave Ramsey, you're wrong on this one. We love you. I mean, I love that you motivate people and get them going, especially with that hard kick in the butt that he normally does. But in this case, you're absolutely wrong. And unfortunately, we have to point that out. That's it.
Yep, I agree. And why do flamingos lift up one leg? Because if they lift two, they would fall.
Yes, that is true.
Thanks, Dave.
Hey, go Ramsey, go broke. I love it, man. Well, let's see if he says sorry. You think he'll do something and go, I'm off, people pointed it out?
No, I think his ego will get in the way. And, I mean, he cut his own daughter off multiple times in the show and in that episode and basically didn't even give her the opportunity. She was looking around. You could see her uncomfort. Her being uncomfortable, looking around at the producers in the room and like, do we keep this going? Yeah, that's a tough one there. I think if he did say he was sorry and got the number wrong and we did this massive study and here's what we come up with, that would be awesome for him. Like, he would get so much publicity. He would, but we'd have to go back in all of his books and all of the things that he's quoted and said that. And his thing is he's stuck to one thing. And if you look, sometimes that does work on certain things. Budgeting, hey, man, he's got it figured out. I don't know of anybody that's better than doing the envelopes and truly just focusing on that, focusing on the snowball, getting rid of debt. But when it comes to 8%, 12%, all these different things, and never sharing ideas of mutual funds that could do it specifically that I'm aware of, I couldn't find that. We actually did. We'll put the video below, but I actually did a video where I said, well, I'm going to go look at all these funds. We can literally look up every fund. We made portfolios of all of them and said, let's pretend we knew already, and we picked the best ones, and we still couldn't get to it. Close, but not there. Anyways. Okay. Close, but not enough. I'm fired up, man. Let's get out of here. All right. Adios.